Hey, this is Al Angelo from A Plus Racing. We're in my shop today, and we had a problem with this race car last week at Sonoma Raceway. It's not a very common problem, but you might run into it. You're gonna pull your hair out when you try to figure out how to fix it. So what basically happened was the harmonic balancer broke off while it was out on the track. And that results in a couple problems. So let me show you how we take care of this, how we fix it, and the easiest way to do it. So what basically falls off is this part right here. This part here, it's not the exact one for this car, but it's the same. This is for a 1.6. But this part here broke off. And you're asking, oh, how the hell does that break off? Well, it's got 4 bolts right here that bolt into this little flange right here. So it's got a pin, this has got a hole, the two go together, it goes like that. And the bolt that holds this whole thing together, which I just had one here, is really small. Let me grab one here. I bought a brand new one. So the bolt looks something like this. There's 4 of these that hold this on. Now, this is what I think is happening, because I've seen this happen before. What I think is these 4 little bolts get stressed by trying to tighten the alternator too tight. A lot of times these 1.8s will squeal when you first start them in the morning because the alternator belt feels loose. So we tighten up the alternator belt a little tighter. And these 4 little bolts are the only thing holding on this weighted harmonic balancer. And I think what happens is over time these bolts get stretched out and they break, and then this thing falls off. So if I show you a newer hub that we could use, this is the original hub. So as you can see, the bolts are still in there, but they broke off. So they're getting fatigued and they break off. So you end up having to take the front of the engine apart. You can fix it in a car. It's best if you try to get the timing belt off. So I took the valve cover off, I took all the covers off, and I got to the front, the lower timing gear, pulled that out. And the other thing that it did too, that kind of surprised me, was it broke the keyway. So the keyway actually broke also, so I had to put a new keyway in it. So it's a little bit of work to get it together. Now here's the tricky part. This is what I found when this happened. This is about the 3rd time I've seen this happen. So the front harmonic balancer came off. Now I want you to listen to this. All right, go ahead and start it up. Doesn't sound too good, does it? No, it doesn't sound good at all. Hey, the first time I seen this happen, I thought that the engine threw a rod. And so we prepared to pull the engine out and rebuild it. We went to pull the engine out. I took the clutch off and the flywheel came loose. Every single time I've seen this happen on an NB, the flywheel bolts come loose, all right? So don't panic. It sounds like a rod knock. I know it sounds horrid, okay? But pull the transmission out, take the flywheel, take the bolts off, new Loctite, torque them to the 75 foot-pounds, I think is what's supposed to be done, and then put the whole thing back together, and this car will race again, all right? Not a problem. So it's a little bit of work, but it can be done. It's not a big deal. It's not an engine, all right? Anyhow, I wanted to give you this tip because I know some of you are going to run into this problem, and I hate to see you pull your hair out or even pull the engine out to rebuild it when this happens. So harmonic balancer falls off, pretty much guaranteed on an MB, you're going to be tightening up that flywheel. Hey, Al Angelo again from A Plus Racing from our shop here. Thank you again. Have a great day.